Class 7 students, how are you all? I just hope that you all are safe at your places and you all must be studying at home. Now students, as you all know that very soon your first term examination is going to start. So I hope you all are preparing for your examination and kindly complete all your pending assignments and send it to me. Okay? And as you know that your syllabus is from 1st to 10th assignment. So kindly go through all the chapters that we have done so far. Okay? Now let's continue chapter number 3. Elements, compounds and mixtures. Today we are going to discuss about mixtures. What are mixtures? Earlier I told you about what are elements, what are compounds. Today I am going to tell you about mixture. The definition of a mixture is that mixture is an impure substance, while elements and compounds, they are pure substances. Mixture is an impure substance as it is made up of more than two elements or compounds. They are, and elements and or compounds in a mixture, they are not chemically bonded. Okay, unlike elements or compounds. The components in elements or compounds, they are chemically bonded. Okay, and we cannot separate them with by physical method. But in mixtures, components, elements or compounds, they are mechanically bonded. Okay, and we can separate them by using physical methods. Okay, now let us read the definition of mixture here. A mixture is an impure substance made up of two or more elements or compounds mechanically mixed together in any proportion. Okay, so here the proportion is also different. Okay, they do not have fixed proportion. They can be mixed in any proportion. Mechanically means that they are not chemically bonded. Okay, unlike elements or compounds. Now, examples of mixtures are air. Okay, what is air? What is there around us? Air. Air is a mixture of gases. There are many gases in the air. So, it is a mixture of gases. Milk. Milk is also an example of mixture. Petrol. Okay. Now, salt solution. When we mix a spoonful of salt into water and when we mix it together, then salt solution is formed. So, the solution is an example of mixture. Okay. Now, we are going to discuss about how different types of mixtures they are formed. First, let us discuss about the example of elements of two elements. Okay, when an element is mixed with other element, then it forms a mixture. When a compound is mixed with another compound, then it forms a mixture. Okay, so let us see the examples here of mixture. The first one is of two elements. When one element mixes with the second element, then it forms a mixture. How? See here, when element iron mixes with another element sulfur, then it forms a mixture of iron and sulfur. And the mixture of iron and sulfur can be separated by physical method. Okay. Now, second is of two compounds. When one compound mixes with the other compound, then it forms a mixture of two compounds. Okay. So here the example is sodium chloride, which is common salt with water. Now water is a compound. Okay. So sodium chloride is common salt. When sodium chloride is mixed with water, then what it forms? It forms salt solution. And what is salt solution? It is a mixture. Okay. Now see here, it can also be separated by using different types of methods. Okay, that we are going to discuss later on. Okay. Now, so this is how mixtures they are formed. Now students, let us study about the characteristics of mixtures. Okay, so the first characteristic is that components in a mixture are present in varying proportion. That means their proportion, the proportion of components in a mixture are different. That means if I add iron with sulfur and if I add them and I make a mixture of iron and sulfur, then the proportion of iron can be more than sulfur or the proportion of sulfur can be more than iron. I'll give you one more example. Suppose if I add salt in water, that means NaCl, sodium chloride is common salt. If I add salt in water, H2O, then the proportion of salt can be more than water, or the proportion of water can be more than salt. Okay, so their proportion is not fixed. It can vary, it can change. So the mixture which is formed by salt and water can have components with varying proportion. Okay, now the second characteristic is that mixtures have no definite set of properties. Okay, now unlike elements and compounds, elements and compounds, they have definite set of properties. For example, H2O. H2O is a compound. Okay, now H2O is formed by mixing hydrogen with oxygen. Okay, hydrogen has its own property, oxygen has its own property, and when it gets mixed and when it forms H2O, which is water, then the properties of hydrogen and oxygen is not retained in the mixture. That means is not retained in the H2O. Okay, but in case of mixtures, the properties of components, for example, if iron and sulfur, they get mixed and they form a mixture, then the properties of iron and sulfur can be retained in the mixture. That means then iron will have its own property and sulfur will have its own property. That means they will continue to have their own properties in the mixture. But in case of compounds and elements, components, they will not retain their properties in the product. For example, H2O. Okay. Now comes the third one, which is components in a mixture can be separated by physical methods. Okay. Now components, they can be separated by physical methods and mixtures, because in mixtures, components, they are not chemically bonded. Okay, so we can easily separate them using physical methods. Okay, for example, iron and sulfur mixture, in the mixture of iron and sulfur, iron can be separated from sulfur using magnets. Okay, because iron is attracted to magnets. Sulfur, since it is non-magnetic, so it will not get attracted to magnet, but iron, it is magnetic, so it will get attracted to magnet. So we can easily separate iron from sulfur using magnets. Okay, by using physical method. So these are the characteristics of mixtures. Now let us study about the types of mixtures. Okay, now here we have two types of mixtures: homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. Now what are homogeneous mixtures? Mixtures which have same composition and properties throughout the mixture is known as homogeneous mixtures. Okay, let me explain this with an example. Alcohol and water. Air. What is air? Air is a mixture of gases, and we cannot see particles or different types of gases in the air. They have same composition. Okay, so they have same composition and properties throughout the mixture. That means we cannot see particles or different particles in the mixture. Then that mixture is known as homogeneous mixtures. For example, air. For example, salt in water. For example, alcohol in water. Okay, so one more property of homogeneous mixture is that the components, they get easily mixed. Okay, they get mixed very easily. So we cannot see the particles or the different particles in the mixtures. The particles remains, the composition remains same throughout the mixture. The second one is heterogeneous mixture. Now in heterogeneous mixtures, the composition and properties, they remain different throughout the mixture. Okay, now heterogeneous mixtures are the mixtures which have different composition and properties throughout the mixture. Okay, and one more thing is that heterogeneous mixtures, they do not get mixed with each other. Okay, the components, they do not get mixed with each other. For example, oil in water, chalk in water. Okay, so these are the examples of heterogeneous mixtures. Now students, just now I told you that mixtures, they can be separated by using physical methods. So there are different types of methods that are used to separate different types of mixtures. Different types of mixtures means there are solid mixtures, there are solid liquid mixtures, and there are liquid mixtures also. So different methods, physical methods that are methods are used to separate different types of mixtures. Okay, now here we have solid mixtures. Now for you separating solid mixtures, sublimation is used. Okay, now what is sublimation? Sublimation is the process of conversion of solid directly into vapor state. Okay, and then back to solid without passing through the liquid state. Okay, say so solid it changes into vapor state. It doesn't undergo liquid state. Okay, it directly changes into vapor state. So this is called sublimation. Now the technique of principle involved here is based on the difference in sublimable and non-sublimable nature of solids. Okay, and the process just now I told you, and then it has technique of separation. Now students, first of all, you have to do all these activities, all these methods you have to write in your activity file. Okay, activity file is your second practical file. So you have to do all these practicals in your activity file. Okay, so first is sublimation. So the way it is written on your book, you have to write it the same way. Okay, first you will write solid mixtures by sublimation, the method of separation, and then you will write solid mixtures by sublimation, then you will write principle, then the process sublimation, then technique of separation, then example of separation. Okay, so here the technique of separation is that the mixture of the sublimable and non-sublimable solids are heated in an evaporating dish covered with a funnel plugged at one end with cotton. Okay, so here let me explain the process. This is the process of sublimation. Now here this is an evaporating dish. Okay, and what is there inside the evaporating dish? Ammonium chloride and sodium chloride. Now ammonium chloride, it is sublimable. Okay, that means it changes directly into vapor, but sodium chloride it is non-sublimable. Okay, so it remains behind in the evaporating dish. So what happens? First the mixture is taken in the evaporating dish, then it is heated, then on heating what happens? The ammonium chloride, which is sublimable, the ammonium chloride evaporates and it gets collected in the funnel. Okay, here collected in the funnel, and sodium chloride is non-sublimable, so it remains behind in the evaporating dish. So this is how ammonium chloride, it is collected or it is separated from the sodium chloride. Okay, so this is sublimation. Then the next method is evaporation. Okay, so here also principle is given based on evaporation of the liquid component in a soluble solid liquid mixture. And evaporation method, you know, it is a method used for recovery of the soluble solid from a solution by heating the mixture slowly in porcelain crucible on a flame. Now here also you have to write principle, evaporation, technique of separation, and then example of separation. Okay, so let me explain this method to you. Here also the mixture is taken. The mixture is of common salt and water. Okay, so this is a mixture of salt and water, and when salt and water is heated in the dish, evaporating dish, then what happens? A water vapor, it is lost to that process. Water, it changes into vapor and then it is lost in the air, while the salt remains behind in the evaporating dish. Okay, so this is how evaporation method is used to separate common salt from water. Okay, then comes the next method. Now the next method is to separate solid liquid mixtures by distillation. Okay, now what is distillation? Distillation is the process of converting a liquid into vapor by heating in a distillation flask, or distillation assembly is there, and subsequent condensation of vapor back into the liquid. Okay, so this method is used to separate a liquid from a soluble solid, or pure liquid from impure liquid. Okay, pure water from impure water. Now the principle is based on the distillation of the liquid component in a soluble solid liquid mixture.
So this is how you'll be writing principle, then the process of distillation, then technique of separation. Okay, and lastly you will write the example of separation, and you have to draw diagrams also. Diagrams to be drawn on left side of your notebook. Okay, left side is the blank side of the practical file, so diagrams to be drawn there only. So here what happens, this is the distillation assembly. Okay, you can see what is this distillation assembly. It is used to for separating solid liquid mixtures. And now here you can see this is the distillation flask and this is the distillation assembly. Okay, now what is there inside the flask? Impure water. Now this distillation process is used to separate pure water from impure water. Okay, so here impure water is heated, and on heating the distillation flask, what happens? The solid impurities in water, it remains behind in the flask, and the liquid of water, it starts vaporizing. Okay, on heating it vaporizes and passes through the Liebig's condenser. This is the condenser, and vapors, it passes through it and then it condenses here. Okay, condensing means cooling down. Okay, condenses here and then they change into water again. Okay, and the water is then collected here in another flask, another container or flask here. So water which is collected here in the flask is the pure water. Okay, so this is how distillation process is used to separate pure water from impure water. Okay, or the impurities, solid impurities in water, it is separated using this method. Okay.